Welcome to Walker Talk with Barely Sober News and Reviews. I'm George Pecoraro. With me is Chris Jokas.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Now, in this episode, Season 2, Episode 11, called Pablo and Jessica, we had a little zombies drifting out in the ocean, and we had a little love interest between Nick and Luciana. So, Chris, what do you rate this episode?
I'm going to give this episode a 6, but while I was watching it, I felt like it was a 4, just because I feel like the quality of this episode was just the same as everything in this season, and they really need to hit like a bigger episode that I consider like an 8 or a 9.
Right. They're very mediocre with each episode. They're very planing it, and they're not.
Yeah.
They need to, like we talked about, I think, on every one of these, is that they need to step up their game and be very drastic and to get more viewers and
We need like
more
a
interest.
huge moment that people will talk about. No one's ever going to talk about anything that's been happening in these episodes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like trending on Twitter, like, oh my god, did you see what happened? It's like,
No one's
nothing.
going to work tomorrow and excited to see or to talk about Fear the Walking Dead. Like,
Yeah, absolutely not.
It's just very mediocre right now. I mean, even how much we hated The Walking Dead in the early seasons, they were still like
Big
interesting
things to
enough.
talk about.
Yeah,
Like Sophia coming out of the bar, like the CDC exploding. Like there was things that happened that
Right.
people would talk about.
they're too afraid to kill any of these characters. They just brought on a whole town and a whole bunch of new characters in the hotel to kill, but like they don't want to kill any main characters.
But, like,
And they
which
probably
of them-
need to.
I know, but which of the main characters can you even kill? There's like so little of them,
Yeah.
and they're all from the same family. I don't know. It's just like I feel like there's no room to even really kill anyone.
I feel like Travis and Chris is probably their best story, and then they should have Chris kill his father.
I know. That would be really cool, but I feel like like you said, I think that's their best side of the story. So I like seeing Travis and Chris. Like it would just, once you kill Travis, where does that story go?
Because the only reason is because Chris is just kind of going crazy, and he's really like he's kind of very much influenced and wants to be this like rogue like guy like who's just unpredictable.
But I'd like to see him become the villain of the show eventually. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Right, and eventually maybe meet up with these people, and then I could see that happening. But
Yeah, for now it just seems like they're kind of squandering though.
Chris and Travis are the best storyline right now, and they've only been in one episode?
Yeah.
One episode of the 4 that's happened this half of the season. I mean, the stuff with Madison and Victor and Nick is decent, but it's just not appealing to people to really draw in more audiences.
Yeah, I just don't care about it overall. Like, there's interesting things that are happening, and especially in this episode. I thought the second half of the episode was way stronger than the first half.
Right.
And that whole thing with leading the zombies out, I felt a little bit on the edge of my seat with that. I didn't know what was going to happen, but of course, nothing really happened. Everyone was fine, which is okay. People don't need to die every episode.
I thought that was the kind of boring part. I don't know, they kind of
I thought that was the best part of the episode.
Really?
To be honest, it was the only time where I actually felt like I needed to watch the screen. I kind of found myself scrolling through my phone through most of the episode because a lot of it was just talking in rooms. It was whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew it's they would not kill Madison, and you know what I mean. So I was just kind of all right, just jump off the end of the pier. I get it, it's gonna happen, and you're gonna swim to safety.
I know.
No big deal.
I had it in the back of my head that maybe they would do it though.
If that was gonna happen, if she ended up dying, then it would have blown my mind, and I would have been oh my god, you know what I mean? That would have been an exciting moment.
I thought it was going to be more of a bait and switch thing where they make you think Madison's going to die, but really Victor dies for some reason, or Alicia dies. Some.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the mother looking on the balcony had some shit up her sleeve while she was watching it.
I thought they were gonna lock them out of the hotel
something like that, and then I thought maybe like one of them would bite it, but it just all worked out.
Yeah, it was boring. Like
Not to mention,
everything happened to plan.
everything happened to plan. Come on.
In The Walking Dead, anytime they make the plan, it never goes right, and that time it went perfect. So
which is actually kind of funny because, like, yeah, Rick's always making these plans, and they never go right.
Never
it's like,
go right.
You think someone would be like, "Hey, Rick, maybe you should stop making plans." They always kind of fucking get everyone killed.
I know, like it is true, and then they do in this show. Which is the problem, probably, is they make a plan and that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we talked about this also, like, right before we went on the air, but when did Madison ever even have a chance to sober up? Like, she should have been wasted during this entire episode.
Yeah, both Victor and Madison should have been like in the back, like, well, she was like stabbing that one zombie in the stomach to get the blood to hide her scent, but she was just like calm and like collect and like normal.
I know.
Like both of them.
I get like some fear can sober you up a bit, but you'd still be pretty drunk. And even like afterwards, throughout the rest of the episode, they're like making deals with strangers they don't know, and like
they should be so hungover because even she didn't even want to drink the water that Victor was trying to give her. Like, hey, drink it. Like, it'll help the tequila. We drank a lot earlier this morning. Like, we're sober now, so.
So how about that? They also did like a total like rip off Breaking Bad scene earlier in this episode when Nick is crushing the pills.
That's exactly what I was thinking of in my mind when that scene was happening when he was doing all that.
And I guarantee it was the same thing in the minds of the AMC executives. And they're like, people love those Breaking Bad scenes. Like, let's put one in Fear the Walking Dead. Maybe they'll like it more.
Yeah.
I guess it was cool, but because I couldn't get that out of my head, I couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. It kind of, like, brought about some other amazing AMC show that was around. So, like, I don't know. I don't see them catching more viewers because of that.
No, it's just, like, I'm sure it's just, like, some stupid, like, executive decision, Like, they just look at numbers, and they're like, oh, people, like, respond to this, so let's put it here.
Right.
And to me, it just, like, stank of that, so I couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah. You could, and I can also, I mean, I don't know about you, but Nick and Luciana's like little love affair, like I saw that a couple episodes coming in this.
Yeah, they totally.
It was cool though, like the scene.
Sorry about that.
I thought the scene though was great. I kind of enjoyed it. I was like, oh, they're gonna kiss.
Yeah. they did film that and act that pretty well. I liked it.
I liked the scene, but they actually I heard them talking just on the Walker Talk afterwards. What was it?
Talking Dead.
The Talking Dead. I was like, damn, I got stuff. The Talking Dead. They were talking about that scene, how awkward it was, and how they didn't plan it, and they didn't even talk to each other that day until that like kiss, and they didn't plan it out. So it turned out
so weird.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good though.
Yeah, it did. So a lot of stuff like took place in the second half of the episode.
Yeah, the first half was awful, and I remember being when she said that Pablo died, and I texted you. I was like, "Who the hell's Pablo?"
Yeah, I was like, I can't keep track. Like, they're meeting so many characters in the show.
Right.
I really like. I mean,
especially
granted, I'm probably not paying as hard attention as like
other times, but it's like you've never seen this Pablo. That's the thing. You just heard about him, so that's why I was just like, wait, what? You know what I mean?
I was a little lost there for a second too. But what about the guy? So the leader of this community that Nick's in, he's got the bite taken out of his shoulder.
Yep. That was a big reveal for him.
Yeah, Nick kind of like is totally calling bullshit on him. But what do you think? You think it's a real thing, or you think?
No,
huh?
I don't. I don't think it's real. Maybe it could be like you said before. He's like there's a strand of people that are immune.
I just think that would be something that people would talk about. But if it just ends up being something fake, then again, the show is just not taking that extra risk or that extra step to like make it unique,
Right. I mean, like, I don't know. Well, he told the story, and at first when he was first talking to him about the bite, I was like, oh, they're going to reveal kind of like what happened. They didn't, and then they came back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was too simple. I don't know, like, for what it is. He's just like, yeah, I got bit by this people. Like, this kid was I was trying to save him, and I got bit. Like, I don't know. Like,
so I guess like at some point he's probably gonna get bit again before this season ends, hopefully.
And then we get
to see
he'll probably die. Alejandro's his name.
Yeah, the pharmacist.
Yeah, the pharmacist. I mean, I could see him dying because he's the person I'll pick that's probably gonna die next, just because they say he's invincible or doesn't die from zombies or whatever.
Yeah, so he's either a plot point that they'll continue on for a couple of seasons, or he's a fucking goner.
Right. Or he might, I don't know, he either could just get bit and then get sick and die, or he might just get ripped apart. But I think he's dead.
Yeah. Well, I just hope we find out like the answer either way, whether he actually is immune or not. We could just move past that.
So do you think Nick's Oxycontin is going to pass with the supermarket crew?
Well, based on the coming attractions for next season, it kind of looked like it doesn't, but I don't want to judge based off that because they could be misleading. I don't know. I mean, it would be pretty shitty for Nick if it didn't pass.
Yeah.
Like, he's been fucking up a lot with these people, so...
I mean, and now he's going to get these people hurt and killed. You know, the gringo comes in to the town and gets everyone killed.
I know, pretty much. I mean, I can't even believe they're trusting him this much just to begin with, to be honest.
Right. I mean, it's Alejandro and it's Luciana trusting him, and then everyone else trusting them to Luciana and Alejandro.
Yeah,
like, it's not
true,
the town doesn't trust him because, you know, it's those two leaders of the town that trust him. So the other rest of the town follows him. I mean, I don't know. Like, Nick hasn't had much success with a lot of people.
You know, if I was in that village, I would be super suspicious of him. He's a foreigner that came in,
right,
with no one.
And risked it. He already was risked. You know, almost got his hand cut off.
Yeah, he's like, brown nosing the leader of the village. He's banging like the lead girl of the village. He's like playing with all the kids, like getting on their good side. He's like really suspicious. Yeah. You just saw this?
He's the white devil.
Fuck this guy.
He's the goddamn white devil.
Yeah. Anyway, they don't see it that way. I want to bring up something else about this episode. I feel like they are overusing the like guts trick where they put the guts on their face.
Yeah.
And they're not even like trying anymore. Like Rick's group, they smother themselves in guts. They're just like paint a little red on their face.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're just doing a lot of scenes with it. They're just throwing it on their face, their like their neck and chest and hands, and then like I'm sure their armpits still smell, you know.
Yeah, they hardly had any blood on them today. It was just blood, not even guts. They just had some blood like on their face.
It is like
are the zombies that dumb? I don't know.
It is a good way to like in that spar scene where the Madison and Victor kind of need to get out of there. It is good for that, but like. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah, it's lazy by the writers to just always have that as like. I think there's a reason why Rick and them don't use it that much. Is because it's not that simple. It's like a big risk, right?
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's just different for them. I don't know. Like, I feel like they're using it in Fear the Walking Dead as mostly to travel amongst them, and only rarely use it to like get away from them. Like in the regular Walking Dead, they're using it when they use it to like, we're in a pickle, like what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get out of here?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like, but Fear the Walking Dead really uses it as like if you're gonna wander around, like put this on you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like cool that Nick does it a lot. I don't know. It's just something that's I'm starting to notice.
They do it every episode. Someone's covered in their blood.
Yeah. I would have liked a more, just well thought out way that they could have escaped that situation. I just didn't care for any of that. I was like, we already saw last episode that they're alive.
We haven't seen like a big blood bash.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't seen a lot of killing. They've just been evading by putting blood on themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully next episode we get some Travis and Chris going on.
It doesn't look like it from the coming attractions.
No. I mean, maybe a war will start with Nick will start a war with the supermarket gang. I mean, well, what's gonna happen? Like, well, they got to introduce something. Well, look, Madison and Victor though are and that whole group are pretty locked down in that hotel pretty comfortably right now.
Yeah, that seems like that's going to be a thing now for a while.
So someone's pretty much with them. Someone's just got to come and try to take the hotel, and just how are they going to handle that? They have no.
Right.
Do they have guns? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, like no
Very
one on the
little.
show has like any weapons. I
Like
noticed.
very little. Like they're very
Yeah.
meek with every time they're just like throwing their weapons away. Which
I
is,
know, right? I want to see. I always say this every week, but I want to see them start to get like signature weapons. You know, I want to see like, someone get a sword and someone get a gun that they use all the time, and someone get like a bow and arrow.
That will bring more appeal to each character too.
Definitely.
Like you kind of relate
they're
to
too normal right now.
Like Dale and his crossbow, Daryl and his crossbow.
Yeah, I know.
They need something like
and
that.
their sword, yeah. Even Rick with his revolver, he's had that since
right.
The Python. He's had that since episode 1.
Right. Yeah,
and,
they need something like that.
Them.
I know they don't want to be like The Walking Dead, like Little Brother, and they're kind of being their own show. But there's some points that they need to, I think, follow that they're not doing. That'll help them out.
I think it's just it's realistic too. I mean, if you were in the apocalypse, at some point you'd come across a weapon and you would keep it. You would not let it out of your sight.
I would sleep with it next to me. I don't care even if we're safe or not. Right?
Yeah. Plus, like, why aren't they really finding any guns? Like, find some guns.
Right? This is Mexico. there should be guns everywhere. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Mexico doesn't have guns. It's just an American thing. But okay. I don't know. That's a good point. Like no one has anything. Maybe they'll find some in the hotel, or maybe people with guns will try to take the hotel. You know,
I don't know. They need something. They just basically need something to get people talking about this show. I'm starting to get worried for it. I know it's
right.
You know,
I mean, I still like it, and I kind of like the characters as much as we talk shit about the show.
Yeah,
but they need to step up their game. They need to bring more characters in to just kill more people.
Everything about the show is pretty good. But a lot of people are still hating on it. We actually didn't get to talk about last week's episode. We missed it because of the Labor Day weekend, but that was a really good episode, I thought.
Right.
It's just that nothing big is happening, and we just need that.
The only big thing
needs
was Chris shooting an innocent man or a guy. And killing a guy in cold blood.
Yeah, but it's not big enough to get people talking.
Right.
We need some Game of Thrones red wedding up in this bitch.
I mean, there is kind of a red wedding in the past with these people.
It's actually true.
I mean, this guy had his wife already eaten, and then he was trying to keep her alive in the honeymoon suite.
Jessica.
He was still trying to have like the after wedding sex in the honeymoon suite.
He's hoping for something.
He was trying to, but I mean, it was kind of smart though of Victor. He kind of knew what was happening, like because he kind of suffered.
Yeah.
So he kind of knew.
That was a nice moment, and this show does those little character moments really well.
They do those real sentimental moments very well with that Victor and that guy talking about his wife and his love, and Victor was crying, and then even just Nick and Luciana's kiss was good. Yeah. But that's not gonna really this isn't a drama love story show. It's a horror.
That's it. You hit the nail on the head. Like we're not watching it for that. It's nice to have it,
right?
But we need some good horror action drama before we get some love angles and whatever. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have too much more to say about this episode. I feel a little drained after watching it. I'm just still kind of just waiting for that moment. So
the only thing I think I would have to just say is with Nick and Luciana, they kind of, I feel like, secured their fate for the next couple seasons just because they're like the Glenn and Maggie of this show.
It could be, but you never know. I mean,
I don't know.
Nick's story seems to be a lot about loss, so he might lose her.
I bet something's going to happen to the town, something bad's going to happen to the town, and those two run away. You know what I mean?
Seems like it, but yeah,
I think they're safe for a long time.
Yeah.
At least those two.
You're probably right.
Right. Well, this has been Walker Talk with Barely Sober News and Reviews. I'm George Pecoraro. With me is Chris. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Barely Sober News. And like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Have a good night.